Hey guys, here's the GMAT Ice Bucket Time Management Challenge for the 3rd of April. So why is it called Ice Bucket Challenge when no ice and no bucket is involved? Well, because you will pretty soon discover that you are either too slow or imprecise, and that will hit you just like an ice bucket challenge. So please stop this video right now, start your smartphone timer, and solve this problem on the screen. Then you may start this video again to see the solution and to listen to my explanations. Good luck! Stop this video right now and start your timer. Now that you are finished, let's see the solution. The strategy I used below is the sentence structure based BGMC strategy, which is short for boundaries, grammar, meaning, conclusion. This strategy is used in 2 steps. I first ignore the answer choices and find the error on my own. Then I apply process of elimination to first narrow down my original options to just 2 or 3 remaining choices, and then eliminate further until I'm left with only 1 choice. This 2-step process can be broken down in 4 stages, which I will demonstrate in the sentence correction problem at hand. Before that, let's take a look at the difficulty level. I notice if I look at this example below that it's partially underlined. So based on that, I can conclude that it's relatively easy. However, the choices, the sentence itself, and the answer choices are long, so I can conclude that it's difficult, hard based on that. So overall, I would say that it's of medium difficulty level. Let's move on to the first stage. The first stage is segmenting the original sentence along its natural boundaries, punctuation symbols, subordinating and coordinating conjunctions, into chunks. I do this process without reading. I just scan for natural boundaries visually without writing down anything on my scratch paper. Here I let you see my footprints in order to teach you these strategies. So the red circles show the natural boundaries of the sentence. So let's see, in this example, the first stage is do not read, scan for boundaries, and start with the last chunk. So in my example, I have here the following boundaries: and, comma, and, comma, that, and. Fragmenting the sentence along structural boundaries helps me to save time in 3 important ways. First, since I only scan for structural clues without reading for content, I already get ahead of my competition who diligently reads for content right off the bat. The second stage. Second, since I immediately jump to scan the last chunk for grammar error clues, I can instantly zero in on the error hidden in the original sentence. Note that I jump to the last chunk even if it's not underlined. That's because using the non-underlined part is another crucial weapon for my sentence correction problem-solving strategy. So, the second stage, scan for grammar error triggers to find errors in any chunk. And of course, I jump to the last chunk. The last chunk is joined by and could join two independent clauses if it's preceded by a comma. But in this case, the comma is missing, so it must join two parallel structures, and it does on its code. It's parallel between its toes. However, most importantly, what I notice here is the pronoun reference its, which is singular, so obviously it cannot refer to the two species of algae. What has a coat? Well, the sloth, but it's plural, so I found a mistake because its should refer to the sloth, not sloths. So there is my mistake, and so I found the error, based on which I can eliminate some answer choices in the next stage. The third stage is the following. Since I use the error found to quickly eliminate any answer choice that repeats this error, I can immediately downsize the complexity of the problem at hand. I will also read for content, but only when it is absolutely necessary. Thus, I will save time again, as content-based reading is very time-consuming and therefore should be limited as much as possible. So the third stage is apply process of elimination based on the error found. So we can eliminate any choice which contains the word slots. So we get rid of choice A based on that, choice B based on that, and choice C based on that. And we wind up with two maybes, D or E. And this was in the third stage. Let's move on to the fourth stage. Once I got rid of all choices with grammar errors, the highest ranking errors in the GMAT error hierarchy after punctuation errors, I will do three things. First, I will do the segmentation of the remaining choices once again, dividing them into chunks. Second, I will compare the remaining choices to see if there are any new types of grammar errors introduced, starting with the last chunk. The differences found will clue me in regarding this possibility. Third, I will plug back in all the remaining choices into the original sentence to benefit from its non-underlined portion once again. The structural analysis of the original sentence will help me evaluate the potential new grammar errors introduced. Furthermore, I will also read for content at this time in order to uncover any meaning errors, idiom, diction, or other content-based errors. The most difficult sentence correction problems will always include meaning errors as well. Finally, if there are no meaning errors found, we can go ahead and apply the concision rule, which means the shorter choice is always better, all other things being equal. That's because the shorter choice is either the active voice, which is preferred, or is free of any redundancies, which are undesired. So let's see now the fourth stage, which is compare the remaining choices and plug them back in the original sentence. And based on that, we can see some meaning or concision errors. So how does this look like? So the first thing is, I always like to start with the last choice, and let's fragment it. So I notice the following boundaries: punctuation, comma, comma, and. That's a sign of a list. And let's look at the other one. There too we have, well, we just have one comma and end. And if we look at the last chunk in both cases and compare them vertically, we notice the difference. Here we have the word it. So let's see this word it. As I said, comma, comma, and, even without plugging back into the original sentence, that's a list. So let's see. The sentence says, found throughout Central and South America, the sloth hangs, sleeps, and moves. It is incorrect, therefore choice E is incorrect. So at this point, D must be correct, and I can finish. Of course, if I'm in the first 10 questions, which are worth more than the subsequent questions on the GMAT test, in the verbal section, then I must verify D. So the way to verify it is to plug back in and read it as such. Found throughout Central and South America, the sloth hangs from trees by its long rubbery limbs, comma, sleeping 15 hours a day and moving so infrequently that 2 species of algae grow on its coat and between its toes. So yes, sleeping and moving are parallel form, and then the sloth hangs from trees, blah blah blah, it's an independent clause. Sleeping, this phrase starting with sleeping is a gerund, so it's a modifier, and this gerund, sleeping and moving, properly refers back, this modifier properly refers back to the sloth in the previous independent clause. So it's absolutely correct, and I wound up with choice D in 30 seconds. Now, of course, I had to explain it, that's why it took me longer, of course. Yes, so note that the above process is a highly standardized process that ensures high speed and high precision at the same time. This is how I managed to solve the problem at hand in a mere 30 seconds, half of the time most people would invest into this problem. The final answer was D again. The method I used seems to be very complicated. It has 2 steps, 4 stages. It is using the structure-based BGMC strategy and another tool which is based on using the non-underlined part in order to clue me in regarding what the errors might be in the underlined part. With proper practice, however, this seemingly complex method can be mastered and applied quickly and efficiently, as its structure-based approach limits time-consuming, content-based reading to the minimum. If you have found this explanation useful, please like this video, share it with others, bookmark my webpage, and support my Patreon account so that I feel motivated to make more such videos. Thanks for your help.